Joining us on the phones right now. Always a pleasure to visit with our next guest, the Director of Strategic Communications for the Trump 2020 campaign. It's Marc Lotter. Marc, good morning. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Chad. How are you?
Doing fantastic. It was, I think, a highly watched debate. I haven't seen any numbers come in just yet, but the first presidential debate. What were your thoughts on last night's debate?
Well, I think you saw the president talk about his accomplishments, talk about his plans, and he also made sure that America knows about Joe Biden's plans and Joe Biden's record, even if Joe Biden and Chris Wallace didn't want him to talk about it.
Yeah. It's something, I mean, obviously a lot of people were talking about the way the debate went last night. Was that the goal for the president to get out there and despite maybe what some of the questions were going to be or anything else, he wanted to expose Joe Biden more than what maybe the moderator and Joe Biden wanted him to be exposed?
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a president who believes that, that we need to it's going to be a choice. And you need to know what Joe Biden's record is. And clearly Joe Biden is hiding from it or doesn't remember it. But the president will call it out. And you can't trust the mainstream media to hold them accountable. So it's important that the president take that leadership.
How do you think Chris Wallace did as a moderator last night?
Well, I know Chris. I know him very well. I've been on his show many times, and he's always, he's one of the toughest questioners there is in Washington, D.C., but I think it's also very true that this was a debate, that where these two men have very differing views. One about, the hope and freedom and promise of America versus, what the Democrats are selling, which is the exact opposite. And if Chris Wallace, wasn't going to, hold Joe Biden accountable, then the president was going to.
I think there was some, some of the things where either Chris Wallace didn't know or he didn't care or he didn't have all the facts when it came to Hunter Biden. It seemed as though, Joe was playing dumb when it came to Hunter Biden and all the issues there. And also when it came to the issue of the Green New Deal, Joe Biden on his website embraces the Green New Deal, yet last night he said that he doesn't support it and that he turned away from Bernie Sanders and Ocasio-Cortez last night.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I don't even think Joe Biden knows what he apparently stands for. I mean, he's the one who outsourced his policy to Bernie Sanders and the squad. And now that it's coming, now that he's got to answer for it, he's trying to run away from it. And I'm not sure what it's telling those radicals, but it's clear that Joe Biden really doesn't have any idea about his own policies. And that spells bad news.
Yeah. Visiting with Marc Lotter here on the Chad Hasty Show. Marc, so many times these debates when they're talked about prior to the debate, it's, hey, we're trying to reach the undecideds out there. I honestly don't know how many people can be undecided at this point. Do you think that's what the president was trying to do last night, or was he trying to also energize his base? What was the president's goal last night?
Well, I think the president's goal was to highlight his record and also to make sure that people know about Joe Biden's record as they contemplate their vote. And in some cases, I think there was obviously something. The people I was in Wisconsin last night at a minor league baseball stadium, watching it with 400 or so people on a big screen, and they were loving it. They were hooting and hollering like there was a game going on.
Right.
And but the one thing that so many people came up to me and told me afterwards is that they were when they saw the president, battling Joe Biden and battling Chris Wallace, they said that's the way he fights for our jobs.
Yeah.
And so they took a very strong opinion away from that. And really the record on, holding China accountable, fighting for manufacturing, there's a clear winner in that debate.
Well, I'll ask you this before we let you go. Do you think there will be another debate? I know the president wants there to be at least two more debates. Do you think Biden will debate again?
Well, I think there's a good chance he'll do it. His campaign has said that he'll do it. And I mean, really, when you look at how badly, he performed last night, he's going to need it. But we'll see if they go ahead and do it. We know the vice president debate's going to be next week. Right. Maybe we'll see if Kamala Harris actually owns up to her comparing police to the Klan comment, or her plan to pack the Supreme Court that Joe Biden can't remember either.
Should be a fun one to watch as well next week. Marc Lotter, as always, appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
That's Marc Lotter, Director of Strategic Communications with the Trump campaign.